Okay, here we plot. We've got the OA and it's over 20 minutes. And we can see here that the relative approach of this is coming pretty close to the centre. So if we just project them on and have a look. That's the typical kind of plot that you would get if your bearings was the same angle. So there's a steady bearing and it's going to come too close to us. So other situations, we're assuming it's in fog. So what we want to do is we want to figure out, let's say your question says, what's the alteration of course to be made at, say right on the last plot, say 12:35, in order to pass clear a distance of 2 miles. Well, we figured out what our course is. We kind that, we're done 15 knots at 350. We've figured out what his course and speed is for there, and we've got that figured out. But what we need to do is figure out what alteration we're going to make in order to pass him at 2 miles. And we basically are going to make an alteration of course so that his target across the screen is going to pass 2 miles clear. And we can find out what the minimum alteration of course needed would be. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my compass here. I'm going to mark 2 miles on the sheet here, and I'm going to draw a pretty range circle with 2 miles on it, and that's where I want to keep that target outside of. So to do that, I want his target on the radar screen to stop moving directly towards us and to go and skim the edge of that circle. And I want to do that alteration immediately at the time of the last plot here. Now that would be pretty quick figuring that out if we're going to do it right on the last plot, but let's just say we're going to do that. So what I would do for the last plot there, I'll draw a line skimming the edge of that circle. So that's the way I want them to move. And because it's the alteration again at the last plot, I'll keep others within the triangle here. So I'm going to extend that back. This is going to be the new relative approach, the new OA line. So I'll just extend it back like that. What I need to do now is see either what alteration of course can be made, or what I could also do is just measure down and see what speed I need to reduce down to get me O down there. But first thing I'll do is I'll do an alteration of course. So I've laid my line back. I'm then going to swing around my WO line. I'll swing around O until he touches, well, just right on the edge of the sheet here, by coincidence. Where it cuts the line I'm just laid back, that's going to be the new Alchem O1. And for our W here, to the new O1, will be the new course that we'll need to steer in order to mark this new relative approach. I'll mark the new relative approach on with a double arrow and circled. So when I alter to that new course, let's see what that course is. Again, I'm just doing it very roughly with my ruler. Use your parallel rulers or roller ruler to figure this out more accurately. So I need to make an alteration to 30 degrees. So that's going to be total 10, 20, 30, 40. I'll let alter 40 degrees to starboard in order to make him start moving for that to that direction. That's how we would figure out how much course to alter in order to pass a particular distance. The other thing I could have done there is I could have made it an alteration of speed. And what I would have done there was I would laid my line back the same way, but I just measure what the reduction in speed would be. That's what's going at the full 15 knots. And I'm going to reduce it down to that speed where it cuts the relative approach line. I'll measure that along the bottom. And that's 2.2 knots. Sorry, 2.2 miles is what the new line would be. The new speed. And then that's 2.2 miles in the 20-minute plot line. And what I need to do with that 2.2 miles is I'll divide it by the 20 minutes of the plot and then multiply it by 60. That'll give me the new speed. In this case, because it's over 20 minutes, which is a third of an hour, 2.2 miles would be, times 3 would be 6.6 knots. So to get the same effect, I could reduce the speed to 6.6 knots.